Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cunning Card Mage channel. Today we're going to do something a little different than the normal programming of talking about Magic the Gathering by talking a little bit about Warhammer 40k and specifically their brand new-ish board game, Dawn of War Onslaught. And I know what you're wondering, but hey, what does that have to do with Magic and trading cards? Well, for one, in 2023, Warhammer did have a Universes Beyond commander deck that I actually have one of them proxied that I will show right here. You know, nice little pictures of the 4 different commander decks. And Warhammer also has their own trading card game and that kind of stuff. Plus, this channel is a little bit for me to talk about my experience with different hobby things and different hobby aspects. It just so happened to be mostly focused on Magic the Gathering because that was something very prominent in my life. But without further ado, let's go down to the hand cam and look in this bad boy. So here we have the box for Dawn of War Onslaught. It is a box that comes with 9 miniatures, a double-sided game board, a 36-page rulebook, tokens and counters, gaming cards, and 10 six-sided dice. Now, this is a tie-in to their just brand new released game of Dawn of War 4, where you are following the Bloodraven Space Marines, where you can also play as like the Orcs, the Mechanicus, and I believe also the Necrons, which really fun thing. But another interesting thing about this is this game comes with these 9 push fit minis, which you can see right here and a little bit on the board. And while last night I was looking at the Warhammer website, because I do like to just look at minis, I found that these minis are actually a part of the Space Marines Honored of the Chapter set, which you can get those online for $170. Now, doing our little thinking caps, I would say getting a $50 board game for these minis is not a bad investment. Only downside, can't like customize the way you want these guys to look as much as you can because they are specific push fit and they have to be put together in a specific manner. But besides that, to me, I think that's actually a really good investment because these are great looking minis. I really love this guy right here. I love this sword and shield, and whenever I put these together and paint them, I might have them be Blood Ravens, but I might have them be something else. So, earlier this year in September, while I was at Barnes & Noble, I decided to give reading some novels from the Warhammer 40k world a shot. And I started with none other than Horus Rising. Horus Rising is the first book of the Horus Heresy series and a really, really great starting point for anyone wanting to get into the Warhammer world. So, but right now, here is the big ol' sprue that comes with the pieces to put together for all of the minis. And I know this might be intimidating, but once you get started, it's a lot easier than you think it is. And then here are the bases for them. Let's see what this envelope is. Here we go. Here are the cards and the different things for the game. So we have, we'll do this side, of all the different characters of what their actual canon names are. You got Chaplain Castiel, Brother Barachius, a Blade Guard Ancient, Brother Zaphus, a Blade Guard Veteran, Brother Utherel, another Blade Guard Veteran, Brother Menadiel, Blade Guard Veteran, Judiciar Exarchus, a Judiciar, which, again, just these minis look freaking cool, Brother Afrael, Brother Rathion, and Brother Arcos. They are all members of the Blood Angels chapter. Nope, not Blood Angels. That's a different thing. the Blood Angels, nope, gosh, Blood Ravens chapter of Space Marines, which, oh boy, that's a whole nother can of worms. But to anyone that's like mildly curious about Warhammer, I highly suggest it because the books are actually really good. Horus Rising was a great novel for me, and I very much enjoyed it. And before I even finished the first one, I went ahead and bought the next 3 books in the series because I was just that enraptured by everything going on, and I wanted to read it. The next 2 books in the series, obviously you can look this up yourself, are False Gods, Galaxy in Flames, and Flight of the Eisenstein. Granted, I haven't read Flight of the Eisenstein quite just yet, but that's because of once I finished Galaxy in Flames, I really wanted to give a shot, give their other books a shot to try to figure out what I wanted to do. What I just finished was actually the Night Lords trilogy by Aaron Dembski Bowden, which, whoa, that was a really, really great series. I very much enjoyed it to the point where I kind of want to try to make my own Night Lords, but that requires a lot of time and patience. So here in this pack, we have a bunch of things. I don't really know what this is. I'm guessing this is stuff to just, as you're playing, you'll shuffle these along and figure out what is going on. Obviously, probably reading through this without looking at the booklet it comes with maybe isn't the best idea, but, you know, there's nothing wrong with doing a good old-fashioned raw dog of reading things and seeing what all is going on. Part of my fascination with Warhammer did start with the Space Marine 2 video game, watching the YouTuber Moist Critical play it, because that game is just gorgeous, and I really kind of wanted to just like experience that world a little bit. And yes, I understand that that game did come out over a year ago, but I rewatched the series and really kind of wanted to experience it to the point where I got myself a Lieutenant Titus mini that I am planning on trying to put together at some point. So, here we have the Dawn of War booklet, which will give you all the rules. You got your action cards, major threat, minor threat, sector cards, relics, all the sturf that are very important. You get a nice little lore tidbit, which, hey, these are always great to do, so you can get a little inkling of the lore of everything going on. And then, the important part of how to build each of the minis. So you have what, like, the finished piece is going to look like, all that jazz. And then here's all the blade guard, and then all the eradicators. Whenever I paint these guys, I might do at least one as a Blood Raven, because I do like the color scheme of the red armor and all this, because it just looks really cool. But I might try to do other things. Got a nice little lore tidbit about the Space Marines and that kind of stuff. Here is one of the blade guards, which I love the way those look. Ooh, perfect! A nice thing about the Blood Ravens. Got some stuff about the orcs. And then how to set up the game. Got movement, attacking, assault phase, gaming, next steps. Getting that. There's just... Warhammer is something that is... It can come off as very, very intimidating. I will not pretend that is not the case, because when I've been just looking at the inside cover of Horus Rising, there in that inside cover, there's 30 books of the Horus Heresy, and then you look on the inside cover of the next book, and there's 50 total, and then there's also the sequel series of Siege of Terra. There's just a lot. But it's one of those things where at the end of the day, what you can do is look up a reading guide. There is so many different sources you can. I will put links to those in the description below. Or if you really want to, you can just go to the Black Library website and look at best reads to do for a beginner. Because at the end of the day, can never really go wrong with that. So here we have what the game board looks like. Obviously, this is not a very conducive thing for my small desk area, but nice small little thing. There, it is double-sided, and then you have all the different little counters and that kind of stuff. Just, whoops, accidentally popped one of those out. Don't know how a lot of these are going to get stored. And then you have another set of different counters. Keep popping those out by accident. And so that is the entirety of this box. Actually, I think I'm going to put these back in this nice little Blood Ravens thing, because I like the way it looks and I kind of don't want to get rid of it. I have a mild hoarding problem. But that is the Dawn of War game. If y'all do want me to, like, show some more things of, like, make a video about me putting some of these guys together, my process of painting them and that kind of stuff, I'll happily do it, because I have been enjoying painting minis. Hell, I'll even put some of the minis I painted on screen right now, because it's just a really enjoyable part of the hobby. I personally haven't played like the actual tabletop game. I just kind of enjoy the collecting of the miniatures and doing the very small things along those lines, because that to me is what is a bit more fun and not as overstimulating. I think that's how that gets stored. And then you have these things. I think I'm storing these all correctly. Oh, and that's also helpful. You have, I just realized what this is. This is the data slate you would need to use these guys, the Chaplain Castiel and the Judiciar, in the actual tabletop proper, which I think is kind of fun. There we go. But at the end of the day, this, like, I won't pretend this is a hobby for everyone. I know it's not, because there is just a lot. However, I do think it's a fun hobby to dip your toes into, to figure out all these different things you want to do. And if you do have like a local game store or a local Warhammer store, going in and just asking for like beginner stuff is never going to hurt. They do have the Battle Honors program, which is something I'm participating in a little bit, to where it encourages you what to do along your journey and different things that you can do with like fun little rewards that you can get to help you along your way. Plus, you can also get a free painting lesson and how to play the game. And then every month, there is a free mini of the month. This month for December, there's this really cool Death Watch guy, which is a different like Space Marine thing that I'm looking forward to getting, because I will never turn down getting, one, a free mini, and two, another Space Marine for me to try to build. But outside of that, that is basically everything I really wanted to do for this video. Apologies for the break between videos, holiday season, and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to try my best to keep up a decent upload schedule and that kind of thing as we continue chugging along. But if you really do want to see me do more things with like Warhammer or other different like minis and that kind of stuff, let me know down in the comments below, because I'll happily try to figure out a decent way to set up like me painting minis or me putting all these guys together because I'll happily do that on a video. But outside of that, that is about it. As usual, if you really enjoy my content, like and subscribe. It will help a lot, help me get boosted up in the algorithm so more people can see the content and engage with it. But with that being said, thank y'all for watching, and bye.